In today's show, we're discussing my brand new release, Brothers and Sisters. It's out now. I've sampled a track that was built on samples too. So let's get to work discussing those samples and exploring the stories behind the tracks. Felix Leiter and Luke Davidson featuring Sharlene Hector, Brothers and Sisters, released in October 2021. Let's go.
You're the best thing. I will always need you.
If you want to check out the full version, I'll link it in the show notes below. Go and check it out on Beatport, Spotify, all the usual places. How you vibing on that one, mate?
Really good, man. That's brilliant.
So let me fill you in on the background of my version. I found the Brothers and Sisters a cappella years ago. I started messing around with ideas, but ultimately it sat undeveloped on my hard drive for literally years. Luke Davidson, who is a young, up-and-coming Scottish DJ and producer, hit me up like a good couple of years ago and asked if I'd be interested in working on a track with him, like collaborating on something. And I said, yeah, I had a few ideas. I ended up sending him this half idea of Brothers and Sisters, and Luke smashed it out of the park, came up with a really cracking idea. I tidied it up a bit and got my boy Mark Maitland in to mix and master it. We didn't sample anything from any master recordings, but we did have to emulate the vocals. So Sharlene Hector came in and re-sung the female vocals, mate, and yours truly did the male vocals. You'll hear what I had to emulate soon when we explore the samples, but that's me doing the male vocals. So let's take the first step backwards in this story, the track that inspired me. Released in 1993 on Universal House Records and featuring the vocals of Catherine Dion. It actually peaked at 56 in the UK charts. This is Too Funky 2, Brothers and Sisters, the 1993 radio edit.
Brothers and sisters, I want to see your hands out there. I want everybody to kick up some noise.
You're the best thing. I will always need you. You're the best thing. I will always need you.
Brothers and sisters,
you're the best thing.
I want to see your hands out there.
I will always need
I want everybody to kick up some noise. Brothers and sisters, I want to see it.
Hey, what a tune! Oh, naughty little organ.
Brothers and sisters, I want to see it.
That vocal's really cool there.
Brothers and sisters, I want to see it. Brothers and sisters, I want to see your hands out there.
I will always need you. You mean the world to me. Let's stay together, baby. Together we'll be free.
Right, let's leave that there. That track will resonate with clubbers of a certain age. And I guess there's also a little bit of geographical location as well, really. Like there was a huge scene in the north of England, especially, you know, in the kind of like Wigan, North, you know, St Helens, like Manchester, Liverpool, like that kind of like sound was absolutely huge. I know that 2 Funky 2 are Dan Evans and David O'Connor from Discogs. But beyond that, I couldn't really find out very much about them or the vocalist, Catherine Dion. So if you're watching this and you know anything about them, please, please, please drop it in the comments below and educate me. I would love to know more about it. 2 Funky 2 is one of the best old school tracks around, but I'd love to hear your favorites, and you never know, it might inspire me to do something new with it from my in my sets, or to make an edit or a bootleg or whatever. So if you're watching this, drop your favorite old school tracks below in the comments for everyone to check out, including me and Dan. If you love the show and you want more of our chat, then support the show on Patreon. The link is in the show notes below. Dan, tell the people what they'll get if they sign up.
Free pack of wet wipes. Look, I'm prepped every time now.
I'll tell you what you get. You get access to 1 hour long uncut episodes a whole week before the shorter YouTube is released. We also do exclusive episodes. You can listen to them as podcasts. Just check out the link and see what you want to get. I'm Felix Leiter, international DJ and producer.
My name's Dan Nightingale from the Have a Word podcast.
And together we're going to explore the samples that feature in tracks you love in a show that we like to call
Show Me the Sample.
So Dan and David, aka 2 Funky 2, sampled 2 tracks for their 93 Brothers and Sisters release. First up is the iconic piano riff. It came from ASHA JJ Tribute, released 3 years prior in 1990. Produced by 3 Italians, Paolo Galzari,
It's good.
Maurizio Parafatore, Dario Pozzai.
No, it's got to be Dario Pozzi.
Dario Pozzi. It's Pozzi.
Well, I'm only going off the Watford owners being the Pozzos. They're not the Pozzos, so I'm going Pozzi. That's my guess.
Dario Pozzi. It wasn't a success in Italy, but as with much of the Italian piano house produced at that time, it found huge success on the UK rave scene. It contains vocal samples from Janis Joplin, hence the title JJ Tribute. The piano, however, was original, and it was written by one of the guys and played on a Korg M3R synth. Let's take a listen to ASHA JJ Tribute.
Oh, mate. Amazing.
I'd like you to hear a bit of the Janis Joplin stuff, so I'm going to keep it playing for another minute or so.
Like it all felt beautiful, and you're like, that's nothing like that.
I think that's like that beautiful thing, like when I'm playing stuff to you and you're like, oh, I only ever know it as that. I only even know that piano with that vocal, and like now you play this other one, it feels weird. So
Shelley's.
Anytime I research old school tracks, I love the old club footage that comes up on YouTube. So let's take a look at some, mate. This is from 1993 at the legendary Shelley's in Stoke-on-Trent, and it's our track JJ Tribute is playing. Let's take a look. The club is famous for its impact on the UK rave scene, especially around 1990 to 91, launching the career of one of its residents, DJs, ASHA, and like all good things, it was closed down by the police. Have you ever been in a comedy club that was closed down by the police?
We've had to stop a show for the police to get some knobheads out. And I tell you what, every gig after that is a brilliant gig.
Yeah, because the crowd are all together. It's unity. It's like, yeah, let's have it.
Yeah,
like
the quicker it happens, the better, because 30 people getting chucked out has meant 30 people are ruining the show. Comedy clubs don't want to chuck anyone out. Whenever you see like shitty reviews on Google going, we got thrown out for laughing too much, you definitely fucking didn't, dickhead. You are a bellend that doesn't know when to talk and not to talk. But don't go on Google whinging like a lying little snake going, we were just having a great time. You weren't. You're a fuck knuckle and you know it. They're almost always amazing because you get to go back on, particularly as a compere, and be like, hey, what the fuck was that? And everyone's like, mental. Yeah.
And as a DJ, you instantly just go, what's the first track I need to drop when it all goes fucking, comes back on again? And I think, as you said it there about the compare coming back on, I think my track is just is Seven Nation Army. You just drop don 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 don, and everyone just goes
so funny,
fucking bananas. If you think of a better tune, so you're in the DJ booth, there's 1,000 people in front of you, the lights go off mid 1 a.m, mid set, you've got 1,000 people ready to go fucking mental. Drop me your song suggestions underneath and I'll put them in a little folder for the next time I need it. If you've got a tune that's going to send everyone crackers when the lights come back on and the sound comes back on, hit me with it. The second sample used in Two Funky Twos, Brothers and Sisters, is the opening from MC5's Ramblin Rose, recorded live at the highly influential Grande Ballroom in Detroit in 1969. This is the vocal that I had to recreate on my track. So when you've heard this, go back and listen to my version, and this is me doing what he is doing on this. It appeared on the band's seminal album, Kick Out the Jams. It is, in fact, a cover of a Ted Taylor version of the same song. Many people covered it, but Ted Taylor version is the one that people think that this MC5's is where they kind of got their influence from. So you can see, if this is the first time you're watching this show, you can see this is how deep this whole sample cover interpolation thing goes. Music just seems to cycle back upon itself time after time after time, and different generations, different genres of music take inspiration and start recreating things in the image of things gone past. Wayne Kramer is the lead vocalist on this one, so let's take a listen.
Brothers and sisters, I want to see your hands out there. Let me see your hands. I want everybody to kick up some noise. I want to hear some revolution out there, brothers. I want to hear a little revolution. Brothers and sisters, the time has come for each and every one of you to decide whether you are going to be the problem or whether you are going to be the solution. That's right. You must choose, brothers, you must choose. It takes 5 seconds. 5 seconds of decision. 5 seconds to realize your purpose here on the planet. It takes 5 seconds to realize that it's time to move. It's time to get down with it. Brothers, it's time to testify, and I want to know, are you ready to testify? Are you ready? I give you a testimonial. The MC5.
Listening back to it now, I have two realizations since making the record, which I've been technically making for about 8 fucking years. Firstly, I don't think the guy that I replicated is even in the band. I think he's just announcing the band. So I genuinely don't even fucking know who I tried to replicate. Secondly, I realized this yesterday when I was doing the research. I have changed the vocals incorrectly. So what I've put is, brothers and sisters, I want to see some hands out there. But what he's saying is, I want to see a sea of hands I want to see a sea of hands out there. So I fucked up twice here. A, I've recreated the wrong vocals. Secondly, I don't even think that it is the lead singer of the Ramblin Rose that I've tried to emulate. I think it's some nameless MC compare, if you will, Dan, who gave that rousing speech. Have you ever been...
Is it that guy in the middle? Is it that guy in the middle of the picture?
Yeah, maybe. Well, this is a picture from... I couldn't get a video of the track. So this is a picture of them in the Grande Ballroom in Detroit. Now, you and I are not rock aficionados, but apparently it was a very seminal venue, and it was operating at the same time as the kind of the stuff that was happening down in San Francisco that was all kind of peace and love and, you know, hippie-ish. And this was like, no, we're in fucking Detroit. We don't fuck about. This shit is edgy. This shit is rock and roll. This shit is angry and aggressive. So it gives a real nice juxtaposition of the different scenes that were occurring. Before I get your opinion on this week's samples, mate, if you're still watching and you want more of our chat, help us out, support the show on Patreon. We produce a 1-hour show every week where we interact with Patreons, watch extra clips, tell stories, basically have loads more banter. You can check out the links below. Dan, hit me with your thoughts on this week's episode.
Loved it. An old classic rave tune from before my era that was still sort of doing the rounds when we were going out, as especially in Manchester and especially around the Northwest where we were clubbing. This was like 10 years after it had been released, but it still got played occasionally. I liked it, yeah. I thought the samples they used were really good. I always think that when something's so iconic and sounds so legendary, when you hear the original done differently, you're like, oh my God, what the fuck were they thinking? But yeah, so I love it.
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, and obviously it's more personal than most weeks because my record started off the top of it. We obviously didn't use the piano. At no point were we ever thinking about using the piano. It's so legendary. It's so beautiful. If I want to hear that piano, I'm just going to fucking play the original version. I was really into creating a kind of a drive-in techie club track and using some of the vocals that I loved to help that track move and you know and work. And I know loads of people will watch this, especially I think we have got quite a nice community now of people who are into their old school stuff. And I know a lot of people will just turn around and go, well, you shouldn't fucking touch it. You should fucking leave things alone. Things are perfect. They are, but what we are explaining is, look how things have all come from all these tracks. There's always going to be people who are trying to reinvent or use. I mean, one of the reasons I did it is nostalgia. Like you just said, mate, like I love that vocal. I love being 16 and being underage and being in a club and hearing that vocal. And now I'm in a club playing tracks that are totally different. They sound different. The drums are different. The bass are different. And I still want to hear that vocal. So that's the reason that I do it. And I try and reinvent it into a way that it'll fit into my sets. And when I play it, I have that nostalgia. So it is selfish, but that's what happens. You know, music is constantly regenerating. So if you've enjoyed the track, you can go and check it out on Beatport, Spotify, all those kind of places. And thank you for watching the episode. He's been Dan Nightingale.
He's been Felix Leiter.
See ya.